Guys, we are so back. The Real Housewives of Miami is finally back. This is my favorite Housewives franchise. It is so good. I have been waiting for this all year. I was so excited when I saw that season 7 had finally dropped. I know a lot of people say that Salt Lake City is their favorite Housewives city, and it's a close second for me, but Miami is always gonna have my heart. These women are so feisty. They are so wealthy. They are so chaotic and so messy. I cannot believe these are women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s because they still act like they're in high school, but like in the best way. I mean, Housewives of Miami is obviously very like Latin influenced. Most of the cast are Latinas, and then the ones who aren't Latina are Middle Eastern. Latino culture and Middle Eastern culture go hand in hand. So as a Lebanese woman, this is the city that feels the most like home to me. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Miami season 7 premiere. It was announced, I think last year, that Todd was divorcing Alexia, and this was a major surprise to her. So we start out season 7 right away with this divorce announcement. They lasted less than 3 years. That, I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of thought they would go the distance. I don't know, is that super naive of me to say? It seemed like they were really in love, and at least on the show, it seemed like Todd was able to put up with her very chaotic older son, and I feel like her older son, I forgot his name, Peter is a lot, and I was like, well, anybody who's kind of able to like put up with that seems like they could go the distance. Clearly I was wrong. Alexia is telling Julia and Marisol about Todd surprising her by filing for divorce. I mean, she really did not see this coming. She says that one day she came home and all of his stuff was just gone.
I got home, everything was missing. He had moved him and his daughter out. The month before, he apparently had gotten keys to an apartment and they were taking things. And I had no idea. Toiletries, everything. He even took the shampoo I was telling Marisol from the bathtub. So I'm like freaking out, everything's gone. And Frankie's like, Mom, Todd's gone. He's gone. He did this in front of my son, Julia.
And Alexia apparently had plans with Peter that day, and in the morning, Todd kept trying to rush her out, and she couldn't understand why. And then she comes home, and he had clearly just had this all set up, and he was trying to rush her out so he could hurry up and move his stuff out. That's cold. That is brutal. That sucks. This is why I say, like, you cannot rely on a man 100% for everything. You cannot put all of your trust in him because they'll go and they'll do something like this. Like, clearly she was not expecting this. They were so in love. They literally had like 2 weddings. They had like one kind of COVID wedding, and then they had another big wedding. He was so in love with her. And now look what he did. Literally one day they can just wake up and decide they don't love you anymore. It's fucking brutal out here. It's brutal. And then Marisol asks, or I think Julia asks this, not Marisol. She goes like, was he at least nice to Peter and Frankie? And Alexia's like, no. And she starts crying because she feels like she let her sons down. I mean, honestly, like, you know, Peter is a grown man. Like, Peter probably hated Todd anyway. I doubt he, like, cares this much. He's probably just sad for his mom. But poor Frankie, like, being developmentally disabled, needing so much assistance, like, a big change like this, like somebody moving out of the household, waking up and all of a sudden all this stuff is gone, it's probably a lot for him, and it's probably really stressful for him. You know what I mean? And so Todd just kind of doing that without having any regard for how it's gonna make Frankie feel, like, that's messed up. At the very least, if you don't care about Alexia, like, think about Frankie. That is like so cruel to just kind of like turn his whole world upside down like that. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't get it. That's really cruel. That's messed up. And again, like I said, Alexia really didn't see this coming. She tells them that literally on like Tuesday of that week, they had been talking about trying to work things out and going to couples therapy. Then literally by Thursday, she got a call from a divorce attorney. He didn't even tell her he wanted the divorce. She just got a call from the divorce attorney. So like whatever must have happened between them, that's the thing, is we don't really know what was going on with them. It's like at the end of the last season they got married, and then now this season they're getting divorced, and I'm assuming we'll get into it more this season, like what was going wrong with their marriage. But whatever it was must have been really, really bad, because Todd just woke up one day and was like, I can't do this anymore. So then over the next week, she's telling everybody about the divorce. She tells all the women. She even calls one of the other housewives, I think one of the ones from New Jersey. She's telling everybody. And then I guess shortly after she told everybody, she and Todd were pictured on vacation in Japan, like being all over each other. And I was like, huh? Like, what do you mean they went on vacation to Japan together? Then Alexia in the confessional is like, it's hard for me to stay away from him. Like, I'm so in love with him. And then we get more into it over the course of the episode. Like, there's another scene with Larsa that's coming up, but it was just so confusing. It was such a jarring switch up. But then we don't really talk about it. So I'm hoping this is something we get more into over the course of the season, because that like gave me whiplash. This all happened in like the first 10 minutes of the episode. So Alexia and Marisol are out at a bar, and that's where Alexia is also talking about like all of this, what's going on with Todd. Then Lisa gets there and she sits down and she's immediately like, Lenny's been calling me. Lenny's been trying to get back together. And to be honest, I think I'm gonna do it. Like, I have 2 kids that I need to think about. And I'm sitting there looking at my TV and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Oh my God. And Alexia and Marisol are like freaking out. They're like, no, what's wrong with you? You can't go back to him. And then Lisa goes, I'm kidding. Everybody was shook. That was horrendous. I cannot believe she did that to us. Here's the thing though. I feel like it says something about her that I believed her. You know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, she lived such a comfortable life with Lenny. That man is so rich. Didn't they live? I've never been to Miami. I'm not super familiar with it. Isn't there an island on Miami? It's called like Star Island, right? Am I making this up? There's like an island on Miami that is insanely wealthy. It's where all of the like multi-million dollar mansions are. Didn't Lisa and Lenny live on that island, if I'm not mistaken? And then now Lisa has to live in she still lives in like a luxurious condo, but like she's downsized and she obviously is not in control of how much money is coming to her. So like her lifestyle has changed a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, when she said that she was getting back together with Lenny, I kind of believed her. I'm sorry. And I don't know what that says about her, but I believed it. So Alexia's filling Marisol and Lisa in on everything that's going on with her and Todd. And she goes, yeah, Todd did file for divorce, but then 2 to 3 weeks later, he realized that he still loved me, and he told me that he couldn't stay away from me. And now Alexia's like smiling and giggling. Literally in the scene before, she like could not stop crying. They showed like a montage of her talking about this divorce with so many of her other friends. And then now she's like smiling and giggling, talking about Todd. So I don't know what this is gonna be besides a mess. It's definitely gonna be a mess, I can tell you that. But I don't know. Maybe they'll just end up one of those couples who's like separated for life. Like maybe they'll never live together again, but they're always gonna be kind of like a will they, won't they, which to me sounds really exhausting, but who knows? Maybe that's exactly what they need. Maybe they need that kind of excitement. Lisa says she's throwing like an old Hollywood themed birthday party for Jody, who's her new boyfriend. Well, I guess new boyfriend. I think they've been dating for like a year or 2 now, but her boyfriend after Lenny. And then Alexia asks if Jody is inviting Marcus Jordan, Larsa's ex. God, Larsa and Lisa, I always get their names confused. I know exactly who they are, but I always forget who is named what. And Lisa says no, Marcus is not invited. And apparently there's some drama going down because Marcus and Larsa broke up a while ago. Like the last we saw Marcus and Larsa was on the Traitors US season 2. They broke up, I'm not sure how long after that, maybe 6 months after that. And then Lisa says that she and Larsa had a fight because Jody like went out with Marcus, and so Larsa felt betrayed, and Larsa was like, well, I'm gonna start hanging out with Lenny and Katarina. And I guess Lisa still follows Marcus on Instagram, and Alexia's like, well, how would you feel if we still followed Lenny on Instagram? Like, you need to unfollow him. Which I agree, Lisa should unfollow Marcus on Instagram. Why do you care what Marcus is up to? But I guess what went down with Marcus and Jody was like, it sounds like Lisa and Jody were out at dinner and they ran into Marcus, and apparently like Marcus and Jody struck up a conversation, and then I guess later that night Marcus was going to a club or something and he texted Jody and was like, do you want to come? And then Jody went. Lisa didn't even go, and Larsa is still mad about that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Larsa is in the wrong here. I think that is so unreasonable. Like, I get it, it's not ideal. It's not ideal for your boyfriend, your friend's boyfriend, to still be friends with your ex-boyfriend. It's not something you want, but like at the end of the day, it's not like Lisa went. Like, it's not like Lisa's out here hanging out with Marcus at a party. It's her boyfriend, who she hasn't even been dating that long. It's not like he's an integral part of the group. So I think Larsa is being so overdramatic here. Like, it's like there are these types of friends who are all about like loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. I need you to be loyal in every single aspect. And it's like, okay, I get it, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm not your foot soldier. I don't have to do everything that you tell me to do. Like, just because you're not okay with my boyfriend hanging out with your ex-boyfriend, what do you want me to tell him to stay home? I'm not his boss. I don't dictate who I can and can't hang out with. So I think that was so unreasonable on behalf of Larsa. I think she's totally in the wrong here. She's just reaching because she feels insecure. She probably feels like dating Marcus Jordan obviously elevated her status a lot, and I feel like now that they broke up, she probably feels like she doesn't have that same amount of status and she's feeling insecure about it. Now we're with Julia and Martina. They're baby-proofing their house, and they finally got the opportunity to adopt 2 boys. I'm very happy for them. They're really, really young. One of those boys is 3, and then the other one is 1.5 years. So they're adopting 2 toddlers. I'm really happy for them. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like imagine being in your 60s chasing around like 2 toddlers. Not the life that I would want. Like, I hope by then my kids are grown, and then when I have grandkids, I'm gonna be like, here's some money, go get ice cream. Like, I'm gonna be laying down in my house. So that's kind of the grandparent that I want to be. But you know, if they feel like they still have the energy, if they feel like they still have it in them to do this, then good for them. I'm really happy for them. They clearly really wanted it. But then this like drama between Julia and Gertie that's surrounding this adoption announcement, this is also like really stupid. So Julia announced that she adopted the 2 boys on like a group Zoom call with like all of the women from the Housewives. And she says that she, Julia, was a couple of minutes late to the Zoom call. So all of the women were just kind of waiting in the lobby. And then Gertie said that the Zoom link didn't work. And so she asked if there was another Zoom link. And then Julia's claim is that Gertie never joined the call, and then afterwards just texted her congrats. So that's Julia's claim, that Gertie didn't really care about what was going on with like adopting and things like that. But then Gertie, when this is like skipping to the end of this, Gertie shows up to the party, and to the party that Lisa's hosting. And she's like, well, no, that's actually not what happened at all. And she actually posted the text between her and Julia. I'm going to put them up here. She posted the text between her and Julia. And from the text, it literally looks like Gertie says, hi, are you sending a new link? It never worked. I tried it 3 times. Julia sends this long thing. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, but everybody else stayed on. So kind of implying that it's Gertie's fault. And then she goes, I had something amazing to tell you guys, but now it's out and it's been publicly announced. Hope to talk to you soon. So then Gertie's like, oh, okay, I guess I have to go Google what this announcement is. And then Julia's like, oh, you'll understand when you read it. Like, my hands are full. I'm dictating the message. So sorry, bye. And then Gertie, like hours later, clearly Googled it and then just texts back, congrats. And then Julia's like, thank you. Hope you're feeling better. Julia, this is her just clearly trying to stir up drama where there is none. This is, I already feel like this is an attempt at a storyline, and it's already stupid. Because if you are so busy, if you have your hands so full, can't you just dictate into your phone, Martina and I are adopting 2 boys, surprise. And then Gertie can be like, oh my God, wow. Instead, she has time to dictate a message this big that's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have time to text right now. Clearly you do when the messages are this big. So this is already stupid. This is such a stupid fight to pick. Not to mention, it's like, you really want your storyline this season to be like beefing with one of your friends who literally just survived cancer. That's what you want the storyline to be, picking stupid drama with somebody who literally just got off her 4th round of chemo. Like, not a great look. I don't think that's gonna work out well for you. Anyway, next scene, Larsa's home cooking with her mom, and she says that it was her kids who convinced her to break up with Marcus. And she's like, yeah, he partied too much, like, and then she just starts crying. She's like, I really don't want to address it. I mean, there have been stories that have come out about Marcus. He's just like a fiend. Like, he's out here doing coke, he's out at the club, like, he's significantly younger than Larsa. Isn't Marcus Jordan like barely in his 30s? And I think Larsa's like almost 50. I don't think she wants to be at the club doing coke. Like, that's not a good look for her. And obviously it's not a good look for him to be like caught doing drugs. But she's clearly, I think, like really embarrassed by this whole thing. And she tells producers that after the breakup, Marcus was texting her like really mean messages, and he was like texting her friends. Ooh, that's scary. That is so scary. It's reminding me a little bit of like Jax Taylor. You know what I mean? Like, if you break up with somebody and they're like texting you mean things and they start reaching out to other people in your life because they can't get a hold of you, you just dodged a bullet, because that is really not normal. That is so scary. Like, if that kind of behavior escalates, you know what I mean? So good for her not being in that relationship anymore. I think that was the right move for her. Lisa's home with Jody, and she gets a text from her brother about her dad. I guess at first when she said this, I was so confused. She was like, yeah, they tried taking him off of the ventilator recently, but he regressed, so they put him back on. And I was like, what is she talking about? But then in the confessional, she says that her dad just had a stroke. And she says that she had just seen him like a little over a month ago and made amends with him. Because I guess growing up, he wasn't involved in her life and he drank a lot. So really sad. It's like, that's the most depressing part about these shows, like Real Housewives and also The Valley. Like, because these people are in their like 40s, 50s, and 60s, you have to watch them like go through the death of their parents. Like, Michelle right now is going through this on The Valley with her mom, who was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. That always like comes up in these shows, and it's so depressing. It's just, I don't know, it's honestly sad. It's like, what do you say about that? I hope he makes it through. That's tough. Gertie meets up with Kiki on a yacht. One thing about me, I love Kiki. I am always rooting for Kiki. Kiki is exactly who I want to be when I'm in my 30s and 40s, etc. Hot, looking 10 years younger than I actually am, partying on a yacht, men just begging to spend even 10 minutes of their time with me like that. I am so obsessed with her. I think she's the most beautiful woman on earth. She's so funny. She's so chaotic in like the best way. I love her. So Gertie gives us a cancer update. She says in the confessional that she had like surgeries and multiple rounds of chemo and radiation. I think she said like 4 rounds. And she's upset because she gained 30 pounds, which is like really sad. That also reminds me of another parallel with The Valley, with like Nia saying she's really upset at all of the weight that she's gained during pregnancy and postpartum. It's like women can't win, you know what I mean? It's like our bodies are able to do these amazing things, and then because of society's expectations, like it almost doesn't matter that our bodies are able to do these amazing things. Like, the biggest value just lies in being skinny, and that's like really sad. Like, the fact that Gertie survived cancer, and one of the things that she's thinking about is the fact that she gained 30 pounds. Obviously, you're allowed to be dissatisfied with how your body looks. It just makes me sad that that's something she thinks about, especially considering like she's not obese. Like, her body is like fighting off this sickness, and it doesn't seem like her weight is causing any health issues for her. It's actually probably good that she put on weight, because people who go through these cancer treatments usually end up being so thin because they can hardly keep food down. I don't know. It's just sad. It makes me sad. sad. So then Gertie's kind of like, Kiki, how did you end up on this yacht? Like, whose yacht is this? And Kiki's like, oh, well, I'm a member of the Miami Beach Yacht Club, but I also used to date the owner of the Miami Beach Yacht Club. So I can just come on and use his boat whenever I want, even though she's the one who broke up with him. And then separately, the man that Kiki talked about dating at the last reunion, do you remember this? She was like, I'm not going to tell you his name. I'm not going to show you him. I'm not going to tell you anything about him. But I am dating him and I'm very, very much in love. That guy apparently had a girlfriend the entire time. So that's over. What is going on with Kiki and this Miami Beach Yacht Club guy? I just find it so hard to believe that he just lets her use his yacht whenever she wants. Unless he kind of has one of those kinks where it's like, you know, guys that have those kinks of like, I just want a woman to spend all of my money. Have you ever heard of guys like that? Sometimes I see this online. Maybe it's giving that, because I feel like the alternative would be implying that Kiki is like a yacht girl, and I really don't think Kiki's like a yacht girl. I really don't want to believe that about her. So I'm just gonna assume that this man has one of those kinks where he just really wants Kiki to like use all of the assets that come with his wealth and like spend all of his money. I would like that for her. Adriana's also here. They don't even like show her showing up. She just like sits down at the table with them, and she says that she's seeing a Frenchman. I always forget that she speaks like so many languages. She speaks like 4 languages. I tend to hate Adriana. I usually think she is so out of line and unreasonable and like too crazy in a not fun way. So I just really hope I turn a corner with her this season. That's just my hope for her. So far, so good. So far, I'm not hating her, but she was also in this episode for like 10 minutes. Now Alexia and Larsa are hanging out, and then Larsa's like, oh my God, we're both single. Wait, are you single? Like, are you single? And then Alexia goes, oh, no, I'm not single. You're not single until your heart is single. Alexia, this man is gonna ruin her. This man is gonna break her heart. She's like, I'm just not ready to call myself single. And it's like, yeah, I mean, how could you be ready? You're still legally married and you and Todd are still hooking up. So it's like, are you single? You're not. You're still hooking up with your husband. But I don't know. I think that whole thing is just gonna end in disaster. And then I also think if somebody were to ask Todd, like, hey Todd, are you single? He'd be like, yeah, I'm single. I'm going through a divorce right now. So careful, Alexia, because I don't know if he's as into this as you are. And then Alexia tells Larsa that she and Todd have just been like spending time together and hooking up, but they haven't been talking about the divorce.
I'm afraid to talk to Todd about the divorce. I'm just afraid that it's gonna start another fight.
I think don't go back to Todd and just live with me.
So we're both like tiptoeing and walking on eggshells and just having like a nice time and being lovey-dovey and not really talking about what we have to talk about, which is the divorce. We're all gonna end up single.
I don't know if maybe Alexia and Todd were having these like big explosive fights and he made the decision to leave and divorce her in this like moment of passion, and now he's starting to regret his decision. Or I don't know if he honestly just really likes hooking up with Alexia and he doesn't want to stop. I'm not sure what's going on there. I wonder if we're gonna see him this season. That would be kind of crazy. Like, Todd seems like the kind of guy who really would hate being on this show, but like, he was willing to have his like wedding filmed, but who knows if he was just doing all of that for Alexia, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I honestly think we need him here. I want to hear what Todd has to say. And then Larsa says she was only able to leave Marcus because he did so much stuff to hurt her, and one time, like, a paparazzi caught him bringing a girl into his house. And then Alexia brings up the picture of Marcus that came out doing coke, but she calls it a white substance, which is hilarious. I'm sure she's trying not to get sued. Larsa's just too old to be dealing with that stuff. I'm sorry. Not that she is old. She's probably only like in her late 40s, but like, she has like teenagers. She's a mother. She's a homeowner. She doesn't need to be dealing with like a 32-year-old boyfriend who's out of the club doing coke and like bringing girls to his house. She doesn't need this. And like, she's in a lot of pain right now, but I think she's gonna be better off for it. I feel like I kind of want to see her dating somebody older. I feel like maybe that would do well for her. Like, not even that much, but like maybe a guy in his like late 50s, early 60s, really, really rich. I think I kind of want that for her, like super calm. Lisa's birthday party for Jody is kind of giving like dark circus rather than old Hollywood. It's like a lot of reds and blacks and like these giant balloons and just the way everybody's dressed. I'm like, what about this is giving old Hollywood? When I think of old Hollywood, I think about like gold and like, depending on how old Hollywood you want to go, like flappers or like diamonds. That's what I think of. But instead, everybody's in like red and black. It's looking like a kind of a carnival, like a circus sort of situation. I'm not sure why she thinks that's giving old Hollywood. It's really not. Adriana's there with her new Frenchman, her new boyfriend, and she's claiming that he's a marquise. To be fair, he's so hot. She did eat with that little thing. He's really, really hot. I honestly cannot believe she pulled a man like that. Like, he is really, really hot. I will say, though, she completely ruins it because she's in the confessional talking about how everybody must just be so jealous of her. She's like, I just know everybody's looking at the marquise and being like, oh my God, like, wow, I'm so jealous. I wish I could be with a man like that. And this is why I tend to hate Adriana. She is so insecure. She's just so, like, just at her core, she's so insecure and she just wants the other women to approve of her so badly. She just wants to get in with the it girls. And that, like, kind of desperate neediness really turns me off about her. Jody walks into the party, like, just by himself. It seems like he's, like, an hour late. Like, everybody looks like they've been there for so long. And then it's so awkward. Lisa goes, Jody! And she's, like, yelling, trying to make it a moment. And literally nobody else is paying attention. Everybody else is, like, still talking. Just, like, kind of funny. Like, just a really awkward moment. And then Julia and Adriana kind of like awkwardly say hi to each other, but not really. And they both say that there's been some distance between them lately. And because, I mean, if you remember, like last season, people thought they were going to hook up. Like there was like some sexual tension between them. It's like so much so that I think even Martina got a little jealous, if I'm remembering correctly. And then now at this point, it's been like a total switch. And Adriana says that it's because Julia started getting closer to Alexia and Marisol. And you know, Alexia and Marisol make Adriana feel so insecure. So yeah, kind of, I don't know, kind of sad because I feel like it's like as much as I make fun of Adriana, like she needs a friend. She just really needs a friend. And it's sad to hear that her and Julia aren't as close as they used to be. Gertie shows up practically naked. I don't know what she's wearing, this like basically completely sheer like black lace thing. Her whole triangle is practically showing. And again, I'm like, you know, it's hot. She looks good. But I'm like, what is old Hollywood about this? I just don't. I mean, people either didn't understand the theme or whatever mood board Lisa sent out. I'm like, I don't know what you think this is, but it's giving like kind of gothic. I don't know. I'm harping on this too much, but just nobody was on theme in my opinion. And then Gertie asks Martina and Julia how their new sons are doing, and they like won't even look at her. It's so awkward. She literally asks them, she goes, oh, how are they doing? And they're like, it's like, what is wrong with you? This woman just beat cancer. What is wrong with you? That is such a bad look for them. Not that I'm saying that like, oh, just because somebody recently beat cancer, it means you have to treat them like a fragile little egg and you have to like pity them and be like, oh, we have to be extra nice to them. But damn, you're really gonna be like icing her out for something that wasn't even her fault. Just so stupid. That's really gonna come back to bite them in the ass. Larsa sees Lisa and says that, and goes, oh, you didn't call me. And Lisa's like, what do you mean? I never got your calls. And Larsa's like, you're lying. It seems like for the first few episodes, this is probably going to be our main feud, which is really tough for me personally because it's really hard mentally being like Larsa and Lisa. Which one is Larsa? Which one is Lisa? I'll get over it. I'll figure it out. And then this is what I don't like. Larsa goes to Jody and is like, yeah, Lisa didn't return my calls. Like, isn't that so weird? And Jody's literally sitting there. He could not give less of a shit. I'm sure he doesn't even remember this woman's name. He could not care less. And then she's like, have you seen the stuff that Marcus has been saying about me in the press? And Jody's like, no. Jody literally does not care. He is just definitely one of those like housewives significant others who is just on the show to make their girlfriend happy. I think doing all of this stuff is like his worst nightmare. He does not want to be here. And then now the whole group is sitting in a circle in Lisa's living room, and Gertie is like, wow, I feel like I'm on the outs right now. Like, I feel like I'm so on the outside. And she claims, she's like, I didn't leave Julia's Zoom meeting on purpose. The call just dropped and I had to go to another meeting. And then that's like just this whole misunderstanding is Julia thinks it's like this whole scheme. And Gertie's like, no, the call just dropped. I mean, you know, like, what are they? Are they Gen X or are they like elder millennials? I think they're probably like Gen X. They don't know how to use Zoom. You know what I mean? You think Gertie's gonna know how to like troubleshoot Zoom? Do you think Julia's gonna know how to troubleshoot Zoom? It's like you're having all of these people get into a Zoom call. It's like you can't just like have them over to dinner to tell them like you did this to yourself. Who makes a big announcement in a group Zoom in 2025 as if we're still in the pandemic? Just an odd choice for Julia. Larsa sits next to Lisa and tries calling her out again for allegedly hanging out with Marcus. And Lisa's like, I am not okay with Marcus bashing you in public, and that is why I did not go out to dinner with him. And then Larsa also says that Marcus told her that Jody is like really cheap. She's just like trying to like dig and dig and dig. And Lisa's like, I cannot control Jody. Like, what do you want me to do? And then Larsa goes, oh, but you can suck his dick every night? What? Larsa's like grasping for straws here. She's making herself look so bad. Like, what are you talking about? And then Alexia in the confessional says that all of this could have been solved if Lisa just picked up the damn phone. It's interesting. She goes, Lisa doesn't pick up anybody's calls, not even just Larsa. When any of us call her, she doesn't pick up. Interesting little comment to make. Like, it just makes me think that, because you know Alexia and like Marisol are friends in real life, Julia and Adriana are friends in real life. It makes me wonder if like Lisa doesn't really give a shit about any of these women that much. Like she's not answering any of their calls. And then it just escalates to like just kind of a crazy point. Lisa says that Larsa and Marcus have broken up 4 times. And she was like, one time Jody and I left a real party for another one of your fake breakups.
Kid? Don't say it was a fake breakup.
You call me a bitch.
Well, don't
okay, I think there's the door you need to leave. I'm mortified. I've never thrown a soul out of my house.
The only time you call people is when you want to invite them to your fake parties. Fake ass.
Wait.
Fake breakup. Are you crazy?
And this sets Larsa off. She goes, that was not a fake breakup. Don't you dare call it a fake breakup. And then she calls Lisa a bitch. And then Lisa kicks her out. And then Larsa's just like, again, like, I can't believe she called them a fake breakup. She's like just being so offended by this. But it's like, yeah, like, I think all of us have had that one friend who's been in that one relationship where it's like constantly on again, off again. They're always having problems. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausting having a friend like that. And it sounds like Larsa was that friend. And at a certain point, I'm sorry, you stop taking their fights seriously. You stop taking the breakup seriously. Like what Larsa needs to understand is that nobody cared about your relationship as much as you did. Nobody else cares. And it's not because of her. With anyone, nobody cares about your relationship as much as you do. So I know you think that Lisa needs to like stop everything, make sure that Jody doesn't hang out with Marcus, and honor all of your little breakups and treat everything as if it's this big serious thing. But I'm sorry, if you've broken up 4 times, by the 3rd time it's gonna stop feeling as serious to her. She's not the one going through it. And it's kind of crazy that like Larsa is so self-centered that she can't understand that. And then this is weird. This was kind of shady editing on Bravo's part. But Jody at one point during the party is like, oh my God, it's so hot in here. Do you want to go to my room and enjoy the AC? He's like, just like talking to one of his guy friends. And then they go into what they are saying was like Jody's room. And they keep cutting to like outside the door to Jody saying like, God, isn't it so nice in here? And the friend's like, oh my God, yeah, it's so much better. It's so much better in here. And the way this editing is cutting it is it's sort of trying to imply this like, oh, is Jody gay? Like, what is Jody doing in this room with one of his friends? And like, they don't want to be around the cameras. And like, it's sort of doing this like kind of homoerotic subtext thing. And when I was watching this, I was like, why are they doing this in the editing? Like, they're doing this on purpose. And at first I was like, am I crazy for thinking that? But then Jody posted about it. And he was like, yeah, that was shady editing on Bravo's part. There was another living room in the house, which is where the AC was. And that was the room that was designated on that day. Bravo was like, okay, we're filming in this room, and then this room is gonna be where where there are gonna be no cameras, no filming. And Jody was like, I'm here to support my girlfriend, but this is not my thing. I don't want to be on The Real Housewives. So me and my friends were hanging out in the other living room where the AC was, because why would we want to be in the main living room? It's so hot. The doors are open to the outside. All the humidity is coming in. So yeah, just shady editing on Bravo's part. I didn't like that. Larsa's crying in Lisa's bathroom. Even though Lisa kicked her out, she hasn't left yet. And then she comes out and Lisa's like, listen, I don't want you to cry, but you called me a bitch. I have to kick you out of my house. And then Larsa's like, you're always a victim. And then Larsa's calling Lisa the victim, but Larsa's the one who's like in this house crying. You know what I mean? It's like, she's so not self-aware, and she needs some self-awareness. And then Larsa calls her a loser and stupid. And then Lisa starts raising her voice and kicks her out again. And like, here's the thing. All of the other women are saying that Lisa was doing too much, kicking Larsa out of her house. But like, I don't know, if my friend called me a bitch and stupid and vile and a loser, like, I'd kick her out too. This is my party. You don't get to do that at my party. So I'm kind of with Lisa on this one. Like, Larsa has to go. And then that's the end of the episode, and they show the trailer for this season, and it looks so good. I just love this city because it seems like it's so colorful. There's so much partying. There's so much chaos with this group of women. It seems like there's gonna be a lot of traveling, which is really exciting. And then we're gonna be introduced to the new housewife. Her name is Stephanie. I looked her up. It looks like she is Colombian. She's married to, I think, like a Persian billionaire. Like, he's really, really, really rich. Just based off the vibes that I got from the trailer, I feel like I'm gonna hate her. I don't know. She came off as very like stuck up and like condescending in a way that I really don't like. So jury is out on Stephanie. Again, this was just the trailer, so I don't want to pass judgment on her yet, but those are just kind of my first impressions. Wow, we had a lot to get through. That was such a great premiere. I'm so happy we're back. I'm going to be uploading in the next couple of days my recap for The Valley Season 2, Episode 9, and I've also been talking about Love Island on Shorts, so if you're interested in seeing my reactions to the new season, don't forget to check out those as well. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.